Hey guys, welcome back to YouTube's one and only show where we round up the latest games from Gamejolt.com and talk about all of them. So, without further ado, I mean, hold on, we got an announcement to make. Remember, this month, the Hobo Jam is currently going on. But if you don't know what that means, well then drop a comment or drop by the Discord and ask about it so you can participate. But don't worry, if you miss this month, there's always next month. I also encourage you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you can see when I stream live, usually Tuesday or Wednesday nights, early evening US time zone, when I'm getting the videos of the games for this video ready. It's like super meta. But that's where I record all this stuff, and I want to hang out with you guys, start talking to you, maybe playing some different games that I won't necessarily feature on the channel. So anyways, subscribe, Discord, hang out. Now let's go. First game coming up here is Escape the Cave. Now this one caught my eye because it looked like an interesting kind of theme platformer. It looks like it's on the right track to starting out. I like the intro sequence. I think that's pretty unique to have like a playable intro sequence. That's what it felt like. Anyways, I think it could really use some work in like forming into what is your unique take on this. So when I look at this, I don't see a lot of things that stand out. Nothing's truly complicated. There's not a whole lot of moving parts, but I think you could do a lot. I think using the player model, just kind of think of a backstory for him, like what's he doing here, and thematically build the levels around that guy. I don't think it would take a lot of work to do that. I think it would be interesting for you to add some moving pieces to this, and that would add to the complexity, but also add to the enjoyment. I don't know if that's the right word. So let's just get into the rating system right away, just because that's going to help me focus my advice here. The first is aesthetics, and in this, the audio's alright. I think... yeah, no, it's alright. It's in a decent spot. As far as the actual gameplay goes, I think it needs some, or not gameplay, I'm sorry, as far as the looks go, I think you need some work. I'm going to give you a beginner here because it looks like you just kind of grabbed some tiles and threw them up there, and that's okay. I mean, that's how you learn, right? You grab the basic building blocks and throw them together, see what you can make out of them. I think your next step is to try and use either your own, if these aren't your own, or use higher res ones, and then kind of add some animations to them outside of the character, so give the world some life and not just that player. Next, we're going to move on to mechanics. Yeah, mechanics. So, as far as mechanics go, it's really simple. Run and jump. So, I'm also going to give you a beginner here. I think the next thing is add a unique mechanic to this game, or some thematic mechanic to this game that really adds a dimension to it. Something that came to mind while I was playing it would be really cool if you had a grappling hook to mess around with that could pull your player around or attach to things. That's just an idea though, you don't have to implement that, but I think that's the next step to improving the playability of this game, and I think it would fit the theme very well. I'd love to see what you do with that. It would also, if you based your levels around that, it would also make them much harder as you go on, but it would also add a lot of fun to it. Last here we have story. I think you got a story coming up here, which this is the design category. I think you got some kind of story coming up here, and you could easily write something. There's really nothing right now, so I'm gonna throw beginner here because it seems like you thought about it. In your head, I think you have a story. I think you just need to put it down for the player to see. Alright, that's my advice for this game. Now let's get moving on to the next one, guys. Alright, the next game we're gonna play today is called Speed and Run. So this looks like a platformer game made in Unreal Engine, which after playing it, I can confirm it is a platforming game made in the Unreal Engine 4. It's pretty awesome looking, honestly. It's really difficult. I did not get through level 1. But it was pretty cool. I think the problem that really confused me is the physics are very realistic, and that if you're moving one direction, you're going to continue moving that direction after you jump. So physics were realistic, but they were different from most games that I played, so that's kind of the problem I had. Now, it's not bad because of that. It's actually pretty good that you have a realistic physics engine in there, but that's just Unreal. It's just a cool physics engine. The graphics definitely are what won me over and wanted me to continue playing this game. So ultimately, that's your winning factor here. The gameplay is really hard, but it's only because of the lighting. The jumps aren't really hard, it's just that the jumps, you can't see all of them. so you gotta be really patient, which is weird for a speed and run game, to have to be patient. Also, the lighting, you use too many shaders in here, I think, honestly. But shaders look cool, so I understand why you did it. I would really tone back the shaders a little bit. It looks like a lot of your objects aren't building correctly, so maybe look into that, or at least get rid of that message that tells me, hey, my game's broken, but it might not actually be broken, it's just the warning message you're given. So that's the one thing I would fix. Let's just move into the rating system right away. The aesthetics, I'm going to give you a proficient. I mean, they're pretty cool. I love the use of these objects, the lighting, the shaders, the audio is pretty good, and all around, the visuals are what won me over and wanted me to stick around in this game, so kudos there. As far as the level design, not really sure what I want to give this, in all honesty. It's challenging, but it doesn't ramp up in a way that lets me get familiar with the game before it kills me off. So if you want to design the game to be more approachable, more user-friendly, or at least get people to play longer, is to make the first couple levels a little bit easier and then roll out all the stops in the last couple levels. Really make it challenging. Get me hooked. Like, get me enjoying the game. Like, give me a meaty game that I can sit down and spend a lot of time into and then want to master. But I need to be able to get past that beginner stage in order to master it. So in this regard, I'm going to give you an intermediate. You got a lot of moving pieces here. You definitely know how to move things around and make it challenging, but I think you don't understand, or at least you could work on better, is understanding the intermediate user, the perpetual intermediate, for all you people that understand what that means. If you don't, I highly recommend you look it up. But the short of it is, most of the people are going to stay in that intermediate stage. You're not going to have a bunch of expert users. You're going to have a few that are going to love how difficult it is, but most of the people are just going to get frustrated and walk away. Then onto the mechanics. Mechanics, super simple. I did not like the mouse and keyboard mechanics though. It didn't do it for me. The mouse to look around, the arrow keys to move, and the spacebar to jump. Yeah, it doesn't work for me there on the keyboard. Luckily I had an Xbox controller, so I can make it work. It works really smoothly on the Xbox controller. But mouse and keyboard could use some work. But I also have to use the mouse to select the buttons, so that might be an area of improvement, is adding the Xbox controls to the menus as well. Alright, that's all I got to say on this one. Yeah, I think I forgot to give you a rating. So in any case, as far as rating on the mechanics, I'm going to give you an intermediate. The controls are really smooth as they are, but the keyboard ones does need improvement. Alright, the third game we got going on today is called Labor. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, but it's like this dungeon game where you're just a guy with a machine gun trying to kill some baddies. The first thing that I noticed with this game, well, it's not the first thing that I noticed, but the first thing I was told is that it only uses a controller, which is fine, that's not a huge deal. Though I would suggest adding in some mouse and keyboard. I think that would help. Next thing, I don't know what the whole plan with the controls were, but I kind of found it difficult when in order to fire, I had to be aiming with the toggle, which means I can't shoot and jump. Now, I can understand that being a design decision, but like being realistic, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You can run and jump at this, or you can run and jump. You can shoot and jump at the same time in real life. It's a thing that's been done. So I would recommend maybe moving some controls around so that way you don't have to do that, or having the the jump up maybe being like left trigger. That's how some people do it. I forget exactly what the name of the control scheme is for that, but maybe just remappable controls would also help quite a bit here. I like the art style, I do like the sound effects you have with the gun, and I like the monsters and the chaos of it. I just don't like the controls, and there's really no objective to me. There's no scoring system, there's really nothing that I'm trying to do. I'm just in here shooting a bunch of bad guys. So there's not much motivation to continue playing after I die a few times, and you die a lot in this game. It is not hard to die. But I mean, it's just a hard game. It would make it more, I don't know, worthwhile if there was like a goal system or if there's a point system. That would make me want to continue playing it more. But right now it's just, as soon as I get bored shooting guys, I'm done. So let's jump right into the rating system here, just to keep moving on. So as far as aesthetics, I think you've done a good job of making a thematic dungeon. I really like what you've done with it. It looks like you put some time into the graphics and putting everything together, and the monsters look really cool. So I'm going to give you proficient on this one because there's so many different designs going on here. I think if you want to move up, you need to really polish out the designs. The lighting system is really good, as like how there's like different shaders going away from it. I really like that. So that's where you've done well. Just polish it up a little bit. Make the monsters look like super pixelated. I think would help you quite a bit here, even though that kind of is the same theme here, so I know it's kind of going against that. Next, let's go into design. As far as design goes, the level, it's diverse. You got a lot of rooms, you got a lot of creatures coming at you, you really put your time into this. I'm going to give you the high end of intermediate. I'm going to specify that because I think the map is just missing something that really makes it feel like alive, and there's only one room that you've really designed. If you had multiple rooms, and I think this would go well with an objective, you beat one room, you get to move on to the next one. You just keep clearing rooms. There's your objective right there, and you don't really even have to change your gameplay style. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Now as far as mechanics go, I already talked about the controls. Wasn't a huge fan. Also dropping down through platforms. You say there's controls for it, but it didn't work for me. I don't know what was that, so I'm going to give you intermediate here, just because there isn't a huge diversity of controls. I do like the ropes, but I can't go up them. I can slide down them, but I can't climb up them. I gotta jump up them, which is interesting. And that coupled with the control concerns that I already had is what's going to leave you at this rank. To move up, I'd modify the controls to make them a little bit more smooth, and maybe add something in here that is a unique control that maybe you haven't seen in a game like this, or that you think you could do better than another game you've seen. I know that wouldn't necessarily make it unique, but it'd be something special that would be kind of like a power-up or something. I don't know how to accurately describe it in a way that makes sense to anyone but myself. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I would love to have a conversation with you about them. Better yet, jump over to the Discord and let's chat. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The 4th game we're going to be talking about today is called Blow the Hen Down. Now, before we get going, can we just take a minute and stop and just appreciate how adorable this little chicken is? Or hen. Or compilation of 3D shapes on a pixel screen. However you want to look at it, it's adorable. But now, this game is just a quick game that was made for Ludum Dare, I believe. Running out of space was the theme for this game jam, which if you're looking for a new game jam to participate, I have one going right now. If you have questions about it, remember, drop a comment, stop by the Discord and ask. Anything like that. I'd love to talk about it. But anyways, this game, you're on a ship, you're trying to get the chickens off your ship, because there are just too dang many of them, and they multiply so quickly. Now this is a ton of fun. I highly recommend you guys go download it, give it a shot. It's so much fun to just screw around with it for a couple minutes. It takes you like 5 minutes to beat it tops. If you fail once, add a couple minutes. It's just entertaining, and even after you beat it once, it's still kind of fun to run around and throw chickens off a ship or blow them up. And it's a perfect environment for it. It's just silly enough that it's fun and hilarious. And it's just a great stress relief game after a long day. Just sit down, play this game for like 5-10 minutes. Good to go. You're relaxed. Maybe play some more hardcore games now. But anyways, let's jump right into the ranking system. So, as far as aesthetics go, this is adorable. I love the scene. I love the ship that you've made. I think you could really go far. So I'm going to give you a proficient here in the graphics and the audio. It's all around a great work of art. As far as making it better, maybe add in some dynamic water. It's tough. The low poly count is intentional, so that's what makes it kind of adorable. I'd like to see some more stuff in it, maybe some dynamic skies. I don't know. It's not stuff that really needs to be in the game. This is just extra stuff. So let's move into the next category. Let's go into design. Okay, so as far as game design goes, really well done. It's just really fun. It's really silly, so I'm going to give you proficient here because you definitely know how to make a player laugh and have some fun in your game. I'd like to see more levels with more complicated styles. This is kind of double dipping into mechanics here, but I'd like to see different chicken types. Maybe there's ones that multiply faster, maybe there's ones that multiply slower, but they're heavier and slow the player down. Maybe there's some explode. I don't know, that's Angry Birds territory, but it might work here. And then as far as controls go, super simple. I don't really, or mechanics, I'm sorry, mechanics. Pretty straightforward. Well, you did put some pretty cool stuff in there, like the cannons and the cannonballs, but that's kind of dipping into design with level design. So I'm going to give you an intermediate here, just to kind of average it all out. I think, like what I was describing before, with the different chicken designs and different ship designs would be cool. Maybe some more levels and different what have you. Just more variety in here would really help improve your scores, but overall, it's really fun for how long you spent on it. You did a really good job, and you should be proud of what you made. Alright, the last game we're going to talk about today is called Fermi, or Fermi, I think. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. But either way, it's a really cool game located in space / a different planet with this really awesome, actually, crew of 3 guys. The main character you play, his co-pilot, I want to say, and the shipboard AI. Now, the first thing I noticed that the relationship between these characters is awesome. The writing between them, the dialogue, full of banter, full of references to different things, different movies, games, stuff like that. And it really made me enjoy the characters and enjoy playing as them. And initially the text dialogue kind of started to bother me, but then their interactions became fun, and I really didn't mind it as much. And then I got into the game and found out there's some really cool mechanics that were a lot of fun to mess around with, and the plot line, or at least the progression of obstacles, was really kind of fun to play around with. You got these this one gun, I guess, with 3 different functions to magnetize, repulse, or I guess remotely magnetize some things, make them stick together, which is pretty awesome. I've never seen that before in a game, so it was really kind of cool to see something that I've actually never seen before, even after I've played so many games. Overall, I think this game was really well done, really well put together, and you'll see that more when you get to the rankings, but the story really drew me in. So I have to say kudos to you guys, and excuse me. Too much soda. Time to lay off the soda, Jake. But it really drew me in, and I can't wait for the next couple games. I'm super excited. I can't wait. You guys need to finish faster. So, let's get into the rankings. The aesthetics, the game looks awesome. I can't say that enough. The game just looks really good. And I have to say that with the game visuals and the audio, I have to say you're going to get a proficient here. You've done a really good job piecing this all together, and the characters look adorable, dude. They look so good. I love it. Really well done. And the particle effects, awesome. Whoa, hold up there, guys. Getting real meta here for a second. I'm going to pull an audible here. I've decided, after watching some of my gameplay and really thinking about it, this is not deserving of the proficient title. Instead, we are going to hand out a channel first here in Elite. Everything I've thought of to criticize this game of, I can't. They've addressed it. They've addressed all the concerns I had or could have had about the art. It's just all so well done. So congratulations, guys. I feel like you've earned this. Well done. Next, let's look at the design. The level design is pretty cool. The obstacles kind of change up a little bit, not too much. You could probably do better with that. But then the design of everything around that, the writing in this game, the character design, everything about the design of this game was pretty awesome. I would like to see some more complicated obstacles. I'd like to see some obstacles where the sticking things together is more necessary. I didn't find an obstacle where it was actually necessary yet, so I'd like to see more of that in future games. But as far as design goes, including the levels and the characters and the writing of the game overall, you're definitely getting proficient here. You've done a really good job of making something unique that really surprised me. As far as mechanics go, I could use a little bit of work. I think that the magnetism thing, the uniqueness of it really just got me. It was just so cool, and it's actually pretty well done. It's a little sensitive, but all you got to do is polish that out. So I'm gonna give you another proficient here. I really think this game is one that's really standing above the rest of the games that I've been playing for a while, and so I think you've earned the rank of overall getting proficient in every category. So really well done there. I'd like to see the running into walls and other obstacles polished out before I say you're really solid, but you just barely grasp onto this one for the third category. Just polish some things out. It's awesome. I can't wait for more. You guys have done a really good job with this game. Alright guys, that's all we got for this week's wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop that like, sub if you're new here, and go play these games. Go tell the developers what you think. And if you want to see when I playtest these games, subscribe, hit that notification bell, join the Discord so I can give you a heads up, and come watch me stream these games. But remember guys, until next time, please take care of yourself, because I will see you later.